Hi, welcome back to the next installment in this series, or kind of series. I don't know what I want to do with it yet, but in this Coldplay Let's Play. And today we'll be continuing off where we left off as German Empire. I started off today by removing a couple of large armies that I had in my country that would be taking away from my national income. I then spent 30 minutes thinking about what I want to do. I checked out some diplomacy stuff and seeing what's happening around the world, or Europe, I guess. I noticed that Denmark didn't take up all of Norway and Sweden, so I thought that I would take advantage of this. I militarized Friesland and prepared to go way up north. I then underwent a long process of sending a bunch of troops from sea area to sea area. Eventually, I was able to land up there. I was kind of excited, but then I noticed that Austria was at war with Great Britain. I began to militarize the undeveloped land. But there was a glitch or something, I guess, because my troops weren't popping up there and it wouldn't let me move them. So I just decided that I would redo this again, but they would pop up in just a moment, for some reason. But, I mean, I guess I had extra Navy troops anyways. After that, I controlled almost all of Sweden and Norway, which was pretty good. I then decided to participate in the Austrian and British War, which would be a grave mistake for me here. I militarized the German Sea and got prepared to go immediately into battle. Although I underlooked one thing, and I accidentally went to war with Austria. And it was at this moment I knew that I had messed up. There was no possible way I could financially recover from this situation. I urgently tried to make peace with them and militarize the whole border so they wouldn't be able to take me over, but it was just too many troops that they had that I lacked, and too little money that I had that they made up for, and there was just nothing I would have been able to do. Although still, I tried militarizing the southern states and the eastern Prussia states. I then looked up at the German Sea and I was not quite sure what I would do. I guess what I wanted to do was take over Britain quickly and get to annexing all of Austria, but I just didn't have the resources to do such a thing. I tried to make allies with Russia, Ottoman Empire, but in the end it didn't help at all. I just made an attempt to go in for an all-offensive into Czechia. I then contemplate further about how I'm going to do this. My initial push was very lucky, but I don't think that I'd get this lucky again. I did push deep into Britain and took London over, but in the end they pushed me out of Czechia except for in Sudetenland. I once again wasn't quite sure how I would be able to deal with this, but I still did my best. I took over the panhandle of Austria, and I saw this as a sign of I might be able to do this. I once again made an attempt to push into Bohemia. The Austrians randomly took this little piece of my territory, but that wouldn't be too big of a deal. I tried pushing further into Britain as well. I once again tried asking for some allies, but of course no one would want to come to my help. By this time, I had realized I had a lot of ability points, so I went ahead and tried to use those. And this is about where my luck ran out, because I was being pushed out of Sudetenland. Even if I made a small dent into Bohemia, they kicked me out of Austria as well and pushed into Bavaria. Eventually I was even kicked out of Great Britain, and the only territory I held in Austria was Bohemia, so this wasn't looking too good for me at all. I went around and dissolved some useless armies, and then I tried pushing into Austria some more. At this point I was already pushed all the way out of Austria, and they had annexed some other German territories such as Bavaria. At this point I was running around frantically trying to figure out what I could do. I tried making peace with them a couple times, but no matter what I did, they wouldn't accept. They even began pushing into Holland and into my Lapland territory. At this point, I had accepted my fate. It was little I could probably do to get out of this, but I still tried to militarize some of the land around Austria to give this one final push. I pushed into England a bit, but now my biggest problem was the Lapland because I didn't have any of it militarized and it looked like they would be taking over quite quickly. I made an attempt to push back in Zealand and I wanted to launch an offensive into Austria. Though at this point they were so far into me that I didn't think that I would be able to make it. I looked at the country's stats and the Maple States wasn't that strong, but they were my only ally. And my enemy was 2 places higher than me, and that was probably why I was losing so badly. In this next turn, the Papal States declared war on Austria, which they were a little late to the party, but I accepted them anyways. At this point I had nothing left to lose, so I just became a theocracy to mess around. And I figured this would help me just make taxes kind of as high as possible, and I might be able to recover from this. And I thought as well I would be able to militarize Königsberg really good. I also made one final attempt to push into Britain. I had basically given up on Sweden, not that I had the money to militarize them anyways. There was a last-ditch effort to save Königsberg, but I had no faith that this would work. The Austrians pushed into Holland once more again as well. And it was about here when I realized that there would be nothing I would be able to do. So I just spent the rest of my money that I could protecting Königsberg. I did still hold London, which gave me hope. But by the very next turn, that hope would be diminished. I had nothing else to work towards, and it was over for me. Just like that, once more, it was over for me. I had lost. I accepted defeat by sending my troops once more into Königsberg, but in the end, I was defeated by Austria. Tune in next time for Sweden versus Russia, though.